Come on in, have a seat. We had a chance to review your fourth quarter performance, and right off the bat, some bad decision making here. You missed 3 open shooters and chose to shoot into the outstretched arms of a 7-footer because you couldn't score on the smaller defender. You followed that up by missing a crucial free throw, another miss, a miss in the clutch, another miss in the clutch. Your defense is so bad that we've pretty much removed you from any real defensive assignments, and yet you managed to get scored on here, scored on here, scored on here, and scored on here. Are you familiar with the term boxing out? Got a turnover here and a turnover here in crucial moment of the game. That was just a backbreaker, that turnover. That's 2 turnovers just in the fourth quarter. Now, the good news is you did make 3 buckets. The bad news is 2 out of those 3 you had to be right next to the rim. You also had to be allowed to cheat on both of those. This one in particular is troubling, a cherry pick, because you didn't get back on defense after one of your own turnovers. But you know, your son that you forced us to draft was really helpful in those crucial moments. Hey, LeBron.
Step into my office. Why? Because you're fucking fired.
Hello, Mac. How are you?
What are you doing, dude?
Why don't you have a seat? Enjoy a cookie. Have some iced tea.
Okay.
With all the effort that LeBron's media camp is putting into distracting us with the idea that he's still great and that other teams want him, I thought it would be a good time to put LeBron James through a performance review. At the end of my fourth quarter breakdown, I said, why don't the Lakers sit down with him and have a performance review at the end of every year? Why doesn't every team do this with their players at the end of every year? Well, we're going to do it now.
Let's talk about some contract speculation. For now, it's still speculation at the time that I'm recording this, but we've got Austin Reeves reportedly getting $40 million a year or wanting $40 million a year. Now, based on the performance review, Austin Reeves is worth more than LeBron James, but $40 million worth? I don't know about that. Now, considering that, again, based on the performance review, based on LeBron's performance in the Thunder series, hell, even his performance in the Rockets series that was blown out of proportion, LeBron James is not bringing much to the table. Austin Reeves has become quite the foul-baiting, flailing shooter, and the only reason that I don't trash him entirely, the only reason that I give him any credit, is that he's shown us that he can score without doing that. Years ago, when LeBron James first started faking injuries because the Lakers weren't doing well and got out of the way, and we saw the first glimpses of how good Austin Reeves can be. The other reasons I don't trash him entirely is that he's not afraid of the moment. Whether you like him having the ball or not, that's up to you. He's not afraid of the moment. Whether it's a 3-point shot, whether it's driving to the hole, and somehow or other, he gets there. Does that make him worth $40 million? Again, I say no. On the other hand, you paid another guy an additional $12 million to be utterly worthless. So, if you want to pay $40 million to someone who performs better than that, I guess that makes sense in your organization. So that brings me to the next bit of speculation, and that is LeBron James going to the Warriors for $15 million a year for 2 years at that amount. Interesting. Now, I am not putting too much energy into this because I've been suffering through these rumors for the last 4 years, which tells you something about LeBron James in itself. Every offseason, no matter what his contract situation is, you're still hearing about, well, what's he going to do? Where's he going to go? There's no loyalty. There's no dedication to a team. It's always a threat in one way or another. I am ready to burn what little Warriors paraphernalia I have left if this happens. Which reminds me, I never released my video in which I eviscerated Damon Bruce for saying he would like to see LeBron James come to the Warriors. And that was at least 2 years ago, which proves that these rumors have been going on and on and on. And then this year, Guru from Steiny and Guru also gave praise to LeBron James and said he'd like to see him come here. Chase both of these guys out of town. No matter what happens, whether LeBron gets signed or not signed, just saying something that disgusting. You don't deserve to represent an organization as a mouthpiece on the air, on television. If you don't have the basic understanding of competition, of rivalry, of enemies, and if you have such a low IQ of the game that you can't see what my breakdowns show clear as day about what a liability LeBron James is, I don't want to hear you talking about sports for any team, much less my team. Kind of reminds me of when Rich Paul said all these teams were calling to draft Bronny. Let's switch back to LeBron James and his speech after he was swept yet again, defeated in a humiliating manner yet again. And he's talking about needs to get together with his family and talk to them and decide what's best for him and his family. If you're willing to take $15 million a year, stay in LA, where your family currently is, where your multi-acre mansion that you just built exists, where your kids, at least your youngest, is in school making friends. You don't uproot to go to NorCal unless it's about you. You don't give a shit about your family if you're willing to take that much of a pay cut and go somewhere else. Take the pay cut and stay there. I actually don't buy that Steph Curry doesn't understand the issues that I'm pointing out, but Steph Curry's personality type, someone who actually does take the high road, is to keep his mouth shut. He had to suffer through the Olympics being about LeBron, even though Steph Curry was the hero. He suffered through not being given finals MVPs that he arguably should have been given. You can argue one way or another, but you don't hear Steph Curry on his own podcast trying to engage in revisionist history and get people thinking, hey, those were mine. You know, that's a LeBron James type of thing to do. The low road. LeBron James is always on the low road while claiming he's on the high road. My point is that, sadly, Steph Curry's probably going to continue to take the high road and just keep his mouth shut and do his job. Who knows what's going on behind closed doors, but anyone who thinks that this is Steph Curry's idea or his desire, I would say I doubt it. I even wonder if Draymond actually wants him. As much as Draymond talks like he's in love with the guy and would love to be next to him in the locker room or in the showers, I think that that's literally a contract. Like, Draymond Green changed his tune about LeBron James with his signing to Clutch. I mean, it was that fast. Draymond likes to run his mouth, and he likes to make money running his mouth. So he will run his mouth as long as he's getting paid for it. Doesn't mean he actually thinks what he's saying. But the only thing I would like to see is how quickly that relationship implodes, when you put them next to each other for a prolonged period of time. I don't think it'll go well at all. Okay, returning to LeBron James's performance review. Fourth quarter breakdown, game 4. Elimination game. Your chance not to be swept is on the line, and this is your performance. With a performance review, sometimes it's a helpful exercise to start with a comparison to another player so that you have a starting point. Rui Hachimura performed quite well in my opinion, and he's not getting any love, so let's go with him. Here's the stat sheet final score comparing Rui to LeBron in the fourth quarter. LeBron officially attempted 6 shots. However, the eye test says 7 shots, with 1 failed shot being removed from the stats thanks to a bailout by the officials. This also gave him 2 free throw attempts, undeserved in my opinion, of which he made only 1. Can't have you missing any free throws in the fourth quarter of an elimination game. Sorry, not at $52 million. 25, 35, 41, 71. No. Stop bringing up age. You're getting paid that amount of money. You're supposedly the guy negotiating for another max contract. You can't be doing those things. Now, before moving on to my next point about the low value of LeBron's points, we should look at Rui's box score. 75% in the fourth quarter. 3 of 4 from the field. 100% from the foul line. A free throw that came in a clutch moment after hitting a clutch three. In fact, that clutch three came right after LeBron's failed attempt to hit a clutch three. Rui literally bailed LeBron out with his three-point shot and made a crucial free throw. And unlike LeBron James, Rui's trip to the foul line was legitimate because of Chet Holmgren's really stupid foul on that three-point attempt. Was it a soft foul? Yes, but now we all know you cannot touch a shooter in any way, shape, or form, or they will call it in 2026. Let's compare their misses. Rui's one miss came with what I will admit seems like an ill-advised, overly difficult layup attempt. That's really my only complaint about Rui in the fourth quarter. Let me put their numbers on the screen again. 3 out of 6 versus 3 out of 4. And again, those are the real numbers. My numbers would show LeBron James as 3 out of 7. Anyway, Rui already wins in this competition. 3 out of 4 is better than 3 out of 6. We have only 3 made shots to look at from LeBron James in the fourth quarter. Let's look at them. One of those 3 was a cherry pick. A cherry pick after LeBron James failed to participate with his team to get back on defense. That's a low value score. The other shot that he made was thanks to a rather blatant and uncalled shove-off. A little redundant, but it's important, so I'm going to make the point again. Imagine this from a coaching perspective. If I'm a coach of the game, I see this as LeBron actually being 1 of 6. Cherry picking is not commendable behavior. In fact, it is despised by coaches, or at least it used to be, and by players. And if it weren't for LeBron's media protection, his repeated and regular decisions to not get back on defense would get called out. You know, the way they call Luka out for it, despite Luka doing it half as often as LeBron and being a big star in the NBA. Instead, not only have they not criticized LeBron for it, they repackaged this negative as a positive, stating that he is leading the league in transition points. That's an amazing feat. Being an amazing feat at his age, the oldest guy out there, and he's leading them in transition points. Problem is, there's no transition taking place. It's someone taking a break and waiting for the ball to be thrown to him. They are actually describing laziness and a tendency to leave your teammates high and dry. Coaches can see that. Fanboys, maybe all you hear is what the announcers are saying, which are lies. But coaches, come on. Come on, coaches. You actually want to recruit a guy to your team whose 2 out of 3 buckets are going to come as a result of him abandoning the team at the other end of the court? I think you can find that in another player. I think you can find another player in the NBA who's willing to do that. Someone with enough size to shove off another player and not get back on defense and give you 2 buckets that way. I think you can find that for a pretty cheap price, as a matter of fact. All right, that brings me to the other bucket. The other one I would remove entirely is the dunk that only took place because of, once again, the special treatment LeBron James receives. It's peculiar that no one challenged this shot after LeBron cleared the lane with a shove-off. I mean, it's bad enough that he cleared the lane with a shove-off, but what happened to the rest of the Thunder team? Oh, go ahead, LeBron. It's all you. Once again, one must consider that LeBron is accomplishing what he is accomplishing thanks to the bending of rules. Again, isn't it strange that we didn't see a replay or another angle of this? After all, it was a LeBron James dunk. It's a potential highlight. You didn't want to show from the other side, another camera angle, the blatant shove-off, just pushing people away, pushing defenders out of your way? That is not a legal move, even though you fanboys now think it is. It's just not. And if you bring LeBron James over to your team, you are depending upon that officiating continuing, which means you are depending upon cheating to be transferred over to your franchise when LeBron James arrives. Is that an advantage? I mean, yeah, it's an unethical advantage, and it'll only get you so far when you go up against a team that's flat out better than you. As we've seen time and time again with LeBron James, even the refs can't save you. Why not invest in a player who can get you legitimate buckets rather than one who depends upon skewed officiating? I mean, as bad as the cherry picks are just for being cherry picks, even those usually come with another violation in the form of shoving off. I don't think it's a stretch to believe a team could acquire a player, especially with $50 million to spend, who can score without special treatment from the refs, while also contributing defensively. Oh yeah, there's that aspect of the game too. So let's talk about the defensive comparison of Rui to LeBron James. Well, first, Rui actually had to play defense. At an average annual salary of $17 million, Rui took on harder defensive roles and performed better offensively. He performed better on both sides of the ball at $17 million. You're not satisfied with that performance? You're satisfied with what you got out of LeBron James at $52 million, but not what Rui did at 17? Did Shea score on Rui a couple of times? Yeah, he did. What do you think would have happened if LeBron tried to guard him? I mean, again, we're talking about hypotheticals because LeBron James is always given the floater, non-existent defensive assignment. You're protecting LeBron James from getting burned. The guy you're paying $52 million. Oh, he's going to get burned off the dribble. So let's just put him over here. That's what $52 million will get you? Again, invest in someone who can actually play defense. As if to make my previous point even more clear, the few times that we do see LeBron James try to play perimeter defense, he gets blown by. And yet another example of his astonishing worthlessness. Even when he's doing his phantom defense, standing around doing nothing, with no real assignment or obligation or burden, even then he fails to box out properly, which translates directly into points for the other team. LeBron James is giving up points defensively in various forms, not rebounding properly, not boxing out, and getting blown by. So what if we doubled Rui's salary, bringing us to $34 million a year? Think you could find a guy that can do, oh wait, you already have it. I was going to say, outperform LeBron James. You already have him in Rui Hachimura. I mean, it's hard to do worse than LeBron James. It's actually hard to do worse. Now, fanboys, you being fanboys, I'm guessing that about now you are scrambling for excuses of some form or other, such as claiming that I'm cherry picking the fourth quarter and that maybe the rest of LeBron James's quarters were great. Nope, sorry, broke them all down. I've got all the evidence ready to present. In fact, it's already been published. Now, for just one moment, so that we aren't distracted by the never-ending what if and other excuses, let's focus on the fourth quarter and understand that you think this guy's the GOAT. You're calling him a clutch player. You're calling him an all-time great. You're saying that he's still an all-time great. You're saying that he's still worth a max contract. Then he should have done better in the fourth quarter, shouldn't he? I mean, I already pointed this fact out in my play-by-play breakdown of the fourth quarter, but it was LeBron's teammates who kept dragging the Lakers back into the game. There were multiple times that I thought it was over, that I thought it was out of reach because LeBron James screwed up so bad. And it was his teammates who came up big, who came up clutch, who literally had to overcome LeBron's failings just to get the Lakers back into the game. What I just said should be a lie. That should me being a legit hater making things up. But it's not. It's what happened. And shame on sports media for hiding that. I mean, LeBron's performance was epically dreadful. Only 3 buckets. You know, shooting 50% sounds good if you present it as shooting 50%. But when you realize 2 of those were next to the rim and achieved via cheating, that 50% is garbage. Let's look at 50% shooting when you're shooting an actual beautiful jumper or a three-pointer when it matters. LeBron couldn't shoot over a shorter defender. Marcus Smart shot over a taller defender in traffic, finished while absorbing contact, and made the free throw the clutch free throw, once again dragging the Lakers back from LeBron, ruining their chances. I talked about the momentum shift that was lost when LeBron James committed this turnover. I talked about how things were about to erupt in LA if they went down and scored after getting that stop. LeBron not only ruined that moment, but his turnover led directly to 2 more points for the Thunder, which, by the way, were scored on him. Let's put Austin Reeves up next to LeBron James in the fourth quarter, because it wasn't Austin's best night, and yet it was pretty good when it's next to LeBron James.
This was supposed to be a shorter video, so I'm going to cut myself off there before I continue with the player-by-player comparisons. The whole Steph Curry rumor thing kind of derailed this video, but it applies also, because how can any team look at what I just showed and say, yep, that's what we need? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep watching.